Well, hello everyone, welcome back guys. Hope you all are doing well. And today we are going to solve the very first lab of insecurity serialization vulnerability. I already explained what is serialization, what is deserialization, or what is the impact of insecurity serialization, right? Now, this time we are going to see how to exploit insecurity serialization vulnerability. So let's move to this section, exploiting insecurity serialization vulnerability. And these are the sections of the labs. So first thing first, which is how to identify insecure deserialization. Although this is very easy to identify insecure deserialization, you just need to have basic understanding about different languages, because the functions used in different programming languages are different for the serialization and deserialization. Like in PHP, we use serialize and unserialize. So if I click on this section, you can see here there is one example given for the PHP serialization. So you can see, suppose you have one object. The object is user, and this object have two attributes. First is name, and second one is logged in. And the value of this attribute name is Carlos, and the value of this attribute is login is equal to true. Fine. So to identify whether the serialization or unserialization is being implemented or not, you should see somewhere in the request this kind of string in the request. So you can see I already described this one. Here also I'm going to describe. So O stands for object. The object contains 4 characters. This is U is 1, S is 2, E is 3, and R is 4. That means 4 characters are there. Then this object, which is user, this user object contains 2 attributes, and the attributes are name and is logged in. Okay, so the name attribute contains 4 characters, and S stands for stream. So because, as we mentioned in the previous lab, that serialization means you are going to convert the complex object into streams, into the byte streams. So we are converting here these attributes into the stream. So it have 4 character. Then the value of this attribute is Carlos, that contains 6 character. S is also for stream. Again, stream, the second attribute named is logged in is containing 10 characters, and the value of this is login is B1. B stands for Boolean. If you have the basic understanding about the programming and the logics, so you should know that Boolean have only 2 conditions, true or false, 1 or 0. So here B stands for Boolean, and 1 is equal to true. Fine. Now there also you can read. Now the native method for PHP serialization is serialize. So if you want to serialize the data, you will use serialize function. Otherwise you will use unserialize method for unserializing the data or reconstructing the object or data into its original state. So if you have access to the source code, that means if you are performing the white box testing or SAST, SAST, which is static application security testing, at that instant you have access to the source code. So you should see unserialize method or unserialize function. So if you see within the code anything that is unserialized, that means you should investigate insecure deserialization vulnerability. Java serialization format is different. So you should see the function java.io.serializable. Okay, so any class that implements the interface java.io.serializable can be serialized and deserialized. So if you have source code access, take note of any code that uses read object. So this read object method is used to deserialize the input stream. So this method, which is used to read and deserialize data from the input stream, right? Now, because as I mentioned, the major problem occurs if the application does not validate the input, and the input is user controllable. So if it is user controllable, an attacker could manipulate the object within the input stream, and the application will process that malicious altered object. Fine. So how you can modify the attributes? So now suppose the same thing you see there, but uh, suppose you have the Carlos user, which is the normal user, and if he try to log in, the is admin logic have boolean value 0, which means the Carlos does not have administrative privileges. He is a normal user. But if you can manipulate this data input stream from 0 to 1, this particular attribute, then you will get the administrative privileges, right? So you can see the code will be something like this. There is a user object. It's using unserialized method for the cookie. Okay, so this is the cookie parameter. That means here you will get the cookie value, and then if it will check if the user has admin privileges is equal to true, that means you will get the access of the admin functionalities. Okay, first lab, modifying serialized object. And here we have, this lab uses a serialization based session mechanism and is vulnerable to privilege escalation. As a result, to solve the lab, edit the serialized object in the session cookie to exploit this vulnerability and gain administrative privileges, then delete the user Carlos. Now we have one valid credential. Our user is Wiener, and this user particularly is a normal user. We need to escalate our privileges to get the administrative functionality or administrative privileges. Then we will get the feature to delete the existing users, and we will delete the Carlos account. Fine. So access the lab now, and till then we can set our proxy. So I'm going to the settings, and let's say proxy settings, manual proxy, and the proxy IP, because I'm running the burp suite on my Kali machine, so it's gonna be the address of localhost, and allow use this proxy for HTTPS also, and that's it. Okay, now if I just refresh this or saying home, just wait a moment, I need to manage this window so that you can see both of the windows simultaneously. So home, and you can see we get the request here, right? That's okay, that's fantastic. Now let's go, and I'm going directly to login page, and I'm gonna log in with my user, which is Wiener, and the password is Peter. Let's log in, don't save, and you can see this is the post request where we logged in. So if I see here, you can see this is the post request, and we have post data, username is Wiener and password is equal to Peter. Fine. Okay. So if I go to my account, okay, so here we have something. You can see this is the session cookie. Although once you see the post request, if you enter the correct username and password, you will be assigned one session cookie, and rest of the session will use this session cookie. Okay, so you can just take this session cookie, or after login from any request you can take this session cookie. I'm gonna copy it and just go to decoder. I'm going to just paste it and smart decode. Okay, so this is, I think, base 64. So I'm going to decode as base 64, because this one, this percentage 3D is the URL encoded value of is equal to, and this particular string is actually base 64 encoded. So if we decode this as base 64, you can see here we get the serialized data. Fine. Now what we need to do here is, this is very easy. You can see the same object is here. The object name is user, contain 4 characters, and it has 2 attributes. The first attribute is username. It contains 8 characters. S stands for stream, and the value of the first attribute, which is username, is equal to Wiener, and Wiener contains 6 characters. Okay, the second attribute is admin, that contains 5 character. S stands for stream, and the value of the admin attribute is b colon 0. B colon 0 means this is using boolean, and is equal to 0 means false. That means the user is not having the administrative privileges. So this is the normal user. Now what we need to do here, you can see here we don't have any other tab that give us any special feature or special privileges, right? Now what we need to do here is, if I change this to 1, 1 means true, that means admin is equal to yes, true, that means we are admin. So right now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to now encode this particular section, let's say control C, and we can paste it over here or we can just carry on here. So encode as base 64, and you can see this is the base 64 value of this manipulated data. Now because this is user controlled input section, so we can manipulate it, right? Now again, this is equal to sign, I want to encode it as URL. So you can see now percentage 3D is there. So I need this particular string, complete string. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to send this request to the repeater. Go to the repeater and just change this cookie, session cookie. So control V, and this is the new one, and let's just send this request. So now you can see request getting response status code 200. That means it's successfully processed, and you can see these are the sections we have here for the features. So home, and you can see this time we have admin panel also. So what I'm going to do here is right click, and I'm going to show response in the browser and copy this string URL and just paste it here, hit enter, and as you can see the same thing happened here. Now we have admin panel, just go to the admin panel. Oh, admin interface only available if logged in as administrator. Very fine, because the new request is generated which contains my session cookie. So I'm going to inspect here, okay, storage section, and within this storage section let's just change this value from the new one what we altered. Okay, just wait a moment. No, this is wrong. Control A, this is the URL actually. Back to the decoder and copy this value. Control C, come back here, paste it here, hit enter, and just refresh the session. Okay, now we have admin panel. Now before, what happened, once we take the URL for that response, we paste that URL here in the browser, and once we hit enter, because the cookie is stored here, that cookie is our genuine cookie, so it keep us on the same session as Wiener with the same genuine session cookie. Okay, but because now we already changed that malicious cookie here, now we are good to go. So just delete the Carlos user and finish. We solved the lab. We already solved this lab. I hope you enjoy the lab. In the next video we will go further to see another lab. So that's it. If you like the content, please like, subscribe and share. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye.